Hey everyone, M Squared here with you again. I've been looking for some content ideas that would be fresh for my War Thunder viewership, and I've decided to try and stay on top of new announcements on Gaijin's DevBlog to try and keep you apprised of the new changes and proposed new content that they're bringing to the game. Just yesterday, they put up a new post, and it looks like we're going to be seeing another variant of the British Avro Lancaster heavy bomber, the Mark I. And I imagine the Mark I will be nested just below the Mark III in the tech tree on the British side. War Thunder's devblog reads about the Mark I. The Avro Lancaster, a British four-engine heavy bomber in service with the Royal Air Force from 1942. The Lancaster Mark I was equipped with the Merlin XX 22 or 24 engines. Defensive armament were 8 guns mounted in 3 turrets, 2 Browning MGs mounted in the nose and upper turrets, and 4 in the tail. Standard bomb load 8,000 pounds, crew of 7, a total of 3,440 Mark I Lancasters were built. But probably even more interesting, also from their devblog, looks like they're going to be making some changes to the Lancaster Mark III already in the game. From the devblog, Lancaster Mark III rear turret MG4 303s replaced by 2 50 caliber Brownings in new versions. So they're taking out the 4 the 4 303s in the tail and replacing them with 2 50 caliber Brownings, which I think is kind of weird. I mean, I'm not a aircraft historian and I know a little bit about some planes, but by no means I'm an expert on any of these. So I did a little bit of cursory research on the Mark III on Wikipedia and War Thunder's own Wikia page, and I found no variants of the Mark III that used those 50 cals. From Wikipedia, this variant, which was built concurrently with the B1 and was indistinguishable externally from that variant, was fitted with Packard-built Merlin engines. The Packard Merlins used Bendix-Stromberg pressure injection carburetors, requiring the addition of slow-running cutoff switches in the cockpit. From War Thunder's Wikia page, the Lancaster Mark III, designated the B Mark III in 1942, was powered by variations of the British Rolls-Royce Merlin 28, 38, or 224, which were produced in American factories. Internal differences between the Mark I and Mark III were very few. The two models had identical technical characteristics and armament, but the difference in designation was necessary since the different engines had different service requirements. So both sources seem to confirm that there were no differences in the armament between the two. Maybe there's a historical precedent somewhere in the theaters of war during that time of a squadron of Lancasters modifying their planes with 50 cals on the rear, or maybe there were a few that were supplied that way. I don't know. I'm no expert, but the better question is, does it really matter? If there were never Mark IIIs with 50 cals in the tail, I know that there will probably be some historical purists who play the game that would be a little upset by that. And I wouldn't disagree with their point. I mean, it seems like Gaijin tries to pursue historical accuracy as much as it can. But it appears to me to be a move on Gaijin's part to try and level the high-end British heavies with the American heavies a little bit. And let's face it, the Lancaster gets lousy matchmaking. Considering this plane was in service since early 1942, the things that it goes up against, the 303s that are currently on the plane, even though there's 4 of them in the back, they kind of feel like Spitwads or pea shooters in the face of Doras, G10s, K4s, ME410s, KI-200s, KI-84s, and all those kinds of planes with these huge cannons. It just seems like, when they're up on your tail, there isn't a whole lot that you can do. So would you rather see historical accuracy or what would appear to be a game balancing buff for the Mark III? I mean, there's arguments for both, I suppose. But I'll leave that for you to decide. Please put your comments below. I thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.